Afternoon. My name is Charles Bells. I'm joined by the Bender. I'm joined by the Stockington. Bender, how was your day, friend? Or your evening?
It was great. We finally got the burn ban lifted, and I went out, like, scarfed my dinner down, and I was like, I'm gonna go out and light a fire. It's been,
Go play Light 'em Up.
dude,
Light 'em
we've
up.
been waiting forever to be able to do it, and yeah, so I went out and had a little fire. It was good.
Very nice. Yeah, we have this thing here that we can't do open burning until we have our first snowfall, and then after that, you can just go ahead and light it up.
Interesting.
Interesting. So that's good. So I have a question for you, Bender.
Okay.
I do have a question. Have you ever had one of those evenings to where you had a frustrating day and your significant other has a frustrating day and you're staring at each other trying to figure out whether or not you want to fuck or fight? Have you ever had one of those evenings?
Yes, absolutely.
They're pretty intense, aren't they? Because
Uh,
you really don't know.
well, I usually try to go with the former, but if sometimes you gotta fight first, so then then it's like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
let's make up.
yeah, yeah. Even though you're not even fighting over things that have anything to do with one another.
Right.
It's just the moment in time. Just has to do with, yeah, both had one of those days that you just don't appreciate. And so, yeah, yeah. Relationships are interesting, man. Very,
Yep.
very interesting. Anyways, okay. Market wise, data came in about where it should. The Fed is kind of sort of getting what it wants, at least with unit labor costs coming down. We get additional data throughout the day, so that's going to be something to take a look at. We have the dollar that just came up and blitzed, I believe, 52-week highs, maybe even like, I don't know, 100-week highs, 200-week highs. It's high. It's very high. We can say that. The data, however, that came out is not necessarily something that is indicative of the dollar moving higher. So we need to figure out when that sucker is going to start pulling back. The VIX gave back a lot of its pop overnight and into the morning session. And so again, some things are kind of set up in a way, and I think you touched on it a little bit yesterday, Bender, yesterday was sell, maybe today is buy, one of those things. So I can see some of those things kind of playing out here. However, that news from NVIDIA, as far as being, let's just say that they lowered revenue expectations, was not friendly to the market. We need semis to move and to be okay in order for the market to bottom out and figure out which way to go. As we discussed in here a quadrillion times through the years, without semis, we ain't got shit. And right now, the market is trying to tell us one way or the other, we ain't got shit. So that's really all I have to say about all that there. Bender, what you got on the levels?
All right. I expected more commentary. I was looking for
Honestly, there's nothing to say. It's like we're right where we are. It's like there's really, and when I
Are
say
you
that,
sure we're right where we are?
we're right where we are. It's
Oh,
like
that's
there's
helpful.
nothing to say. It's like when you have the narrative that doesn't improve, when you have the charts that keep on fracturing, when you have the flow that is leaning, quite bearish, even though we've seen a lot of covering. It's like we are where we are. We need flow to switch, otherwise we get more fucking. That's all. I don't know really what else to say. I know from what I was seeing towards the end of the day on, what was it, Monday? What day are we? No, end of the day, Tuesday. Flow started to improve a little bit. There were some shots being taken, some activity, a lot of puts coming in on the bid, but it's like second half of the day yesterday, they just came in and dismantled everything. Everything. So again, Oh, we are.
We are where we
I
are.
don't. It's like for
Okay.
me to sit here and just babble for the sake of fucking babbling even makes me upset.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's talk about levels. How about that? First chart I'm going to
Yeah.
post here is ES daily, and you can see that blue shaded line there. Um, this area in here, this is a pretty wide, range, but this area, was resistance March 2021, February 2021, right in there. We came down, we used it as support in May this year. And you can kind of see the action that took place when we essentially gapped through it. It just spilled right through this area, and we had to fight and claw to get back above it, and now we're sitting just above it. So you do have an area of support in here. We're currently sitting at 39, 31 half. Levels below right here, 39.31 is the 10 MA on the 60 minute. Below that, you have 39.21, which was a double bottom overnight. This is also right in here, the midpoint of that parallel channel. The downward, parallel channel from the highs in December last year. So right in here, 39.20s. So we need to see if this holds. If it doesn't, 3,900 whole number, and then below that you got support down at 38.80. That's the bottom of that shaded area is down around 38.80. As far as levels above go, 39.53 was yesterday's low. You've got 39.70 was previous support. I think that's a big level. If we can manage a move up and we get through that 39.53, we got to look at 39.70. Above that, 39.80 is the 50 MA on the 60 minute, and then you have the whole number 4,100. Let's not forget that phantom print yesterday on SPY, 393.80. So call it 39.38. That was 18,000 shares.
Speaking of which, you brought up the phantom prints. The phantom prints that came out this morning, when it's legally open to report, that they must report, that they can come through. We're looking everything basically being a little bit below where we are now. SPY 392, a lot of 392 phantom prints this morning. 391s. Q 295s seem to be popular. 296s seem to be popular as far as phantom prints on those this morning that have come through. Thank you for bringing that up. What?
What? Sorry, what levels did you say?
Okay, so this morning, so legally, yeah, dark pools and phantoms don't come through until 8 a.m. Eastern. So 8 a.m., that's when you get the reporting of them coming through the exchanges. And so you look, 8 a.m. clicks, and you start getting dark pools coming through. You have QQQ dark pools around 296, seems to be concentrated.
Okay.
These are phantoms.
Yeah.
Phantoms, okay? 296. On SPY, 392 seems to be a very, very popular rub. So 296 and 292 is where the majority of these phantoms were being reported this morning.
Gotcha.
Even we have a 391, 500 shares, 391.81, 391.96, 392.04. Q, again, this 295, 296, there's plenty of them.
I just don't know what to make of all these.
So
we see all these small phantom prints, and I have no idea what to make of them. I guess Frank said, Mel said to disregard those pre-market prints. I just don't know.
It becomes interesting when you say disregard this, don't disregard this, but if it actually hits, you're like, oh, it hit.
No,
It's like you
I'm not saying
can't.
disregard it. I'm just saying that's
No,
what
no, I'm
Mel
not
said.
saying you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it's like when people say disregard certain data, it's like, so
Okay.
then why disregard this
So
data and not this data?
she did post and say to disregard because we've already traded at these levels prior to the system starting up, so they are not true phantom prints. Eric is on it. We'll be working on an update to prevent this in the future. There you go.
Okay.
So
We already
that makes a little
traded there,
sense.
she said. When did we trade
I don't know.
recently this level that these phantoms came through, other than months ago or weeks ago, whatever it was?
Well, if you're talking about SPY, where are we at here? Pre-market low 392.40. I don't know. I don't know where those all came in. So anyway, I'm just
Right. So that doesn't make sense. I'm just saying I like things to make sense. That doesn't make sense.
okay. Well,
So I don't
you'll have
I don't
to
know what to
ask
do with
Mel.
that. Yeah, either things make sense or they don't. That's kind of the way it works. Um, you got anything else on levels?
No, that all makes sense. That all
Fine.
dive.
Everything you said makes sense.
Okay.
That
Just making
388
sure.
level on SPY, I think is one that I know mentally I'm prepared to fully take advantage of that level for an upside bounce if we get there. I don't want to get there. But that 388 or that 3880 that you're talking about, basically, same difference. That's where I would have to take a shot, like a real shot, not just trying to nickel and dime it. So everything that you said made a lot of sense. Like 100%, your levels hold firm, like they always do. Areas of interest in places to take advantage of. So yeah, makes total sense. Okay, Stockington.
Whoa. Oh, let's see. And we moved down. Okay, so I put my new levels in the room. Microsoft already dipping. I kind of was going to use this line it wicked off of 258.4 potential, break below that, potentially take it short. Already drifting below it. I bounced off 258.1. Got a dark pool below if we're going to continue down 256.48. And then there was one the upside 259.83 on Microsoft. So I'm going to go up, see what it does, reacting to that. Let's see. Meta, there was some dark pool on that one last night. 162.93. So if we're going to go down, I'll be seeing the reaction there. And then the dark pool that worked as pre-market resistance was 164.7. I wanted to keep an eye on Meta, just interesting flow past couple days. We had bullish alerts out to next week. We had a bunch of different puts for this week. So I think that could be interesting. NVIDIA, you mentioned what the semi-news, new U.S. restrictions, whatever's going on there. So NVIDIA had this line 143.3 if we're going to go down. If we're going to go up on NVIDIA, I'd be looking to take it long, see what happens at 146.55. Had a good trade on 3M earlier this week. Gonna keep one eye on that one over there. It was a daily inside bar. Also had almost so it had $1 billion dark pool, which was kind of the reason I put out the first trade. That was above at 127, and that took place on August 29th. Then on August 30th, they hit it with 900 million, basically exactly where it's sitting right now at 124.50. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on 3M over there. But that's all I got for levels.
All right there, Stockington. If you got something that you're eyeballing to take advantage of, what is it? One ticker. that you're staring down, being like, you're going to be mine?
Like with these kind of gaps, just like to be a little bit extra cautious. Orb is pretty good for gaps. So
I'm not saying that you're going to execute that. I'm saying that you're going to hunt. Or which one ticker that you're going to hunt?
I mean, I feel like combining flow and levels on NVIDIA this week has worked out really well. So they've just been smacking NVIDIA with puts. So it's like once you see some of these levels break, or like I've been posting some of these patterns, it's like combine that with the fact that we're just seeing in the flow just puts. It's like, okay, well, I'll just buy puts too with with the big boys and ride this for a bit. So that's just, that'll be my focus, and just see what we get on flow.
All right. I actually completely 100% agree with you on that one. I think that sector in general is very, very interesting. All right, Bender, Stockington, you guys have anything else?
Nope, nothing for me.
All right, nothing from the peoples. Market opens in 23 minutes, something like that. Let's get comfortable. Let's figure it out. We'll see you guys soon.